Hi, welcome. I'm Jessie Walters with Charles Rutenberg. I'm here today to talk to you guys about the latest and the greatest real estate things that are happening, interest rates, and then of course we just had Irma come through here. We want to talk to you guys about that too, or I want to talk to you guys about that too, how to prepare. Just all this good stuff to talk about, and some listings that are coming up and listings that are obviously on the MLS right now. I'll show you guys that one first, or these first, is Stagecoach, 12507 Stagecoach Lane, I want to say. Yep, there it is. Beautiful house. That one's in Beacon Woods. Beacon Woods is a great neighborhood. It's great for families. They have rental restrictions in there, so you do have to own the home for 2 years prior before you rent it out. Has brand new kitchen. As you can see, the backsplash is done. You got the stainless steel appliances, new flooring, everything's just done, fresh paint, just mint in there. As you can see, the backsplash turned out great. Just everything in there is just really nice. And it smells new, it looks new, it's great. And it's a big open plan. So this is like a living room area here, and that's the front door, kind of looking into the street. You're looking out to the street view. That house has all the same flooring throughout the whole house. So in other words, there's no carpet. So if you have allergies, it's a great house for you. There's no carpet or anything like that throughout this whole house. So you've got like the non-allergic home. This is the other angle with looking back from that other view. You're looking in the backyard now through that living room. It's a huge living room. There are 2 living rooms, which is nice. I think this one is the master bedroom. It's a good size. It's kind of hard to see on this view. Actually, no, it's the second bedroom. That's the second bedroom. It's kind of hard to see which bedrooms are because they with the same paint on the walls and flooring. But this is another angle of the same living room. As you can see, that nice brick when you come in right through that entrance of the door, and then you have the laminate throughout. New lighting, new fans, big baseboard on there. You've got the larger baseboard, which looks really great as far as making it look just modern. The doors, everything is new on this house, and there's beautiful there's beautiful doors on the front too with nice lead crystal in there. This is the master. I can tell them this one master. So you got your own sliding glass door. So if you want to sneak out, if you want to get a jacuzzi and put it out there and sneak out to your own little oasis out in the back door, right off the master, you can. This is the master bathroom. It's all been redone, fresh tile, has a border there too, and it looks really nice. This one the pictures almost look black and white, but the colors on this is great. It's like a gray for the flooring, and then you have white walls, crisp. That fireplace just looks beautiful. And then inside it's painted black, but it's a log burning, so you don't have any, there's no gas or anything like that. But that's the second living room there. So when you come right off the front door, you'll see that. And then that staircase, which I always go on about, that staircase is so nice, has the wood on top of each stair. Actual steps, so it looks great. And that's 1 bedroom down there. Yeah, that's the stairs. It looks amazing. And then the 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom downstairs. And then when you get upstairs, you have another one too, which I'm not sure if that one, the pictures, yeah, that's the upstairs closet right there. It's massive. So you have 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and it's 2,047 square foot. This is the second bathroom here, which has the nice granite, and the large backsplash, just really in style right now, that look too, with the white, with the veins running through it. And then you've got just everything is extra and brand new in that house. So you have a lot of bonuses. That's the other angle for the bathroom. And then this is the upstairs bathroom with a close-up of the actual border and the tile on the wall and stuff. So that's upstairs. So you got 3 bathrooms, which is really nice, especially if you have a lot of kids. Again, this is the bedroom upstairs. So you've got 2 downstairs, and then you've got 2 upstairs. So you put the worst kids upstairs so you can trap them in up there, and then you put the best kid downstairs, and of course the master's downstairs, so you don't have to worry about running back up and, to go back and forth if, as far as if you're going to do even like a mother-in-law suite or something like that, where you can put the mom upstairs. It's a huge room, and like you saw, a huge closet and stuff too. 2,047 square foot, and that's the 3rd bathroom, a larger, like a back view from it. You can really see the texture is really nice in there and stuff. So it's a beautiful, beautiful bathroom. And then the garage, I mean, this is one of those dream garages where it looks so clean and supreme, supreme inside. Looks great. The floor is painted. The walls are shiny. My garage does not look like this. So it's very, to me, I'm garage jealous on this one. You could eat off the floors in there. So it's just ready to move in, large back porch area. You could actually even screen this area in if you wanted to enclose it or put an extension out as well. So it's just a nice area. And here's a margarita bar or a coffee bar where you can serve right from your kitchen right out to the entertaining area on your back porch. So it's very nice. You can see the granite and stuff, and there's a back view. So you can see how you can enclose it or extend it or even just leave it open, and get the breeze in there that way. Put some tables and chairs out there and just really enjoy your back porch. You can see the back of the fireplace on this side. And of course it has the siding, which is easy for care and pressure washing to take care of. So you got a lot of nice points there. And that's paint there. It looks like kind of like carpet because it looks so perfect, but it's paint on that back porch. And there's the lead crystal. I was trying to actually say on the last one. There's the front doors with the lead crystal in it. So just a beautiful front door. And there's a couple different angles. So you got some nice trees, which you don't really see in a lot of the new construction places. They have just leveled all the trees, where here you got some nice big trees for shade and for breeze and stuff. So it's nice. And again, there's those front doors. So very nice home. So the next home I have listed for sale is 13007 Club Drive. This home is located again in Beacon Woods. Very low HOA. It's a one-time fee, or you can pay monthly, just a very low. I want to say it's $365. This one's on the golf course. As you can see, you can kind of see the golf track marks in the back. They have a tree and some foliage behind it, so for privacy, but you can clear it out if you want to get a better view of the golf course. But it's very nice. It's like it is on the golf course, and it has everything new, just like the last one. New bathrooms, new flooring, new paint, and it's throughout the whole house. So you got brand new flooring, as you can see here. Now the difference between this one and the other one is, of course, the square footage. The price, the other one was $349, and this one is $319. This house is a little bit smaller, but it is still a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and you can see that it has nice ceramic tile, which looks like wood throughout. New fixtures, fresh paint, and this one has more of the beige, kind of the rustic tile with a beige paint on the wall. And of course, we can always change paint, but this paint is fresh and brand new, so there's no need to change this paint. And then the kitchen area is to die for. It's a huge kitchen with the actual island for entertaining or for preparing food if you like to cook. This has a brand new kitchen again, brand new appliances, and of course they all stay. So if you're looking for something where you're just need to bring maybe a couch and your bed and everything else is there. This is the house, move-in ready. Beautiful granite, as you can see, the color, just gorgeous. And there's even room for upgrade, like if you wanted to put more backsplash or something like that in there, just beautiful. This is a 3rd bedroom, or they utilize it as a living room area, so a second living room, or 3rd bedroom if you need it. It does have barn doors, which is kind of like the thing right now. So. And it does have a side entrance for privacy on this house too. But as you can see, the paint outside, perfect. It's kept very, very well. And it's so funny, it looks like I put an orange dot on there, but that's the umbrella, because it does have a special sitting area. It has 2 back porches. One is under a roof and a aluminum back porch, and then one is open where you saw that umbrella. For total privacy. So that home is, like I said, $319. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, and it is on the golf course. So it's a great opportunity. And again, that was the 3rd bedroom that we just saw there too. I have another one that is at 10090 David Drive. That one is $185. That one needs a little TLC. It is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,152 square foot. That one's located on 2.38 acres in Weeki Wachee. Nice opportunity if you need some space to roam. And it's just minutes from the actual Weeki Wachee theme park. the Buccaneer Bay, all that area there is just minutes away. So it's a nice location. It's nice if, you have neighbors, but they're definitely space between the lots and stuff like that, which is really nice and sought after these days because a lot of places are cookie cutter and they're, you're right on top of neighbors and stuff. So this is nice. As you can see, it's very picturesque, the actual land and stuff. So I want to say it's almost like the land has more value than the home, even though the home is cute and has lots of potential. You have all this land, like I said, I want to say it's 2.38 acres or approximately close to there. And so that one is $185. He did reduce it just to sell it for quick sale because he does have tenants in there. And to be honest, the tenants make it a little hard to get in and out. So he just figured I'll put it at a great price so people actually will be patient with the tenants. And then the tenants will let us in whenever, they feel like it's a good day for them to show it and stuff. So this one's been sitting around for a little bit only because we have some tenants who are kind of back and forth and moving in and out of it. So again, that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1152, and a great potential for first home, for your retirement home, or if you're trying to maybe even live up north and have a home here in Florida. It's a great house for that because you don't have any flood insurance in that area and stuff too. So it's high and dry. So it's a good, nice house, cute starter home. I have another one coming up. I don't have the pictures yet. The pictures are going to be done tomorrow. It is a 2-bedroom, 1,800 square foot. It has 2 bathrooms and it's located in Newport Richey. And that house is going to be, I believe, $275. And I'm going to basically get those pictures and show to you guys next week. And when you see this, it'll be next weekend. And I'll show you those pictures. Again, it's all redone. The floors are all redone. The bathrooms are all redone in this one. It's $275 or $279. I can't remember exactly, but it's going to be a great house for first-time home buyer again, or retiree, or if you're trying to, again, have a home here in Florida and have a home, say, in New York or California. It's a great place, just really reasonable, $279. You don't really see much at that price these days. So it's a great starter home for someone. If you guys are buying or selling or have questions about what you could get at this point about, because of the market. I know a lot of you are watching the news and you're trying to figure out, is this a good time to sell or is this not a good time to sell? And I had done a show a couple weeks ago and it was basically, don't sell for your dream price anymore. When we could 6 months ago, we could put that out there and say, well, let's see if anybody bites. That was kind of, a lot of sellers had that attitude. Well, now you need to get with a real estate agent. You need to make sure that your actual home is worth the value that you're putting out, that it's going to be appraised at that value. We have to go back to being a little bit more conservative, which means that no more dream prices, no more, I tell you it's worth $500 and you say, well, I'm going to put it out at $550 and see what happens. You have to basically put it out what it's worth, what it's going to appraise out. And if you do that, then you're going to sell it. And again, too, if it's either, what they say, it's either price or location. So if you've got the location, you still can't overprice it. And if you've got the price, and you don't have the location, in other words, if you have 10 houses and they're all cookie cutter homes and they're all 500, 500, 500, 500, and then you put yours out at 495, people will be like, wow, let's look at theirs first. As far as being competitive with your pricing, it's gone back to that. It hasn't gone to, I'll put it at 550 because mine's worth more. And I always say, why is it worth more? Because it's mine. Everything I own is worth more. And now that used to be how it was. It sounds so sad 6 months ago. But now we've got to be realistic and put things out at appraised value, which means that you need me or another realtor who actually knows what they're doing and tells you, okay, price it at this price. It's a competitive price, not this dream price. And then let it sit there in the market for 60, 90 days. And people then wonder what's wrong with it. But again, the timeline on sales, in 2008, 9, 10, the houses would sit on the market between 90 days to, which is like 3 months to 6 months, and so now we're seeing houses sitting for 3 months, a couple months, and people are, oh no, what's going on? Well, it sounds horrible, but I hate to say that we're kind of going back to where the market has leveled out, where people are looking at houses, but they're not running out to look at houses. The houses that my buyers have put offers in have had 2 and 3 offers on the table at the same time. So we're still getting multi-offers. It's just your pricing has to be competitive. And then you basically don't be greedy, put it out there at a competitive price. And if you have the location, there's nothing for sale in the area, make your house, go through the house, make sure it looks great, make sure it's somewhere that you would think, wow, I want to live there, fresh paint, go through and do all those little things as you would, a couple of years ago. Because I think when we switched the market, some of us were just throwing the houses out there saying, well, I'm not going to paint, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, who cares, because there was a shortage. Or now you're going to take those extra steps again, as we used to, like a year ago, 2 years ago, where we actually say, okay, you need to paint this room that's black, because your teenagers went through the dark stage, and then we need to make this white, redo it all, or gray, or some neutral color, beige, and then, just do the things, take the family picture wall down, just do those things to make people walk in and see that the house is marketable again. The last 2 years we've had stagers. We've said, stagers, we don't need you anymore. We have a shortage. We put things out on the market for one day. They're gone the next day. And it makes the realtors look great because, you sell it in a day. You have multiple offers in a day. Everything was so crazy, but we're now, as we're going back to kind of the way things have always been in the history of real estate, has always been, you sit on the market for at least 30 days. We'll get some offers in. There might be a couple offers, but it's not like 10, 15. The one I had 36 offers. We're not going to get 36 offers right now, but you are going to get offers, and you're just going to, like I said, present the house as if in the way that you would like to purchase a house. So if you want to walk into a house and you don't want to paint, then make sure your paint's nice. Do those extra things. Make your house marketable. If you have a stinky dog, make sure you put the air fresheners out. If you smoke in the house, try not to smoke in the house. Try to smoke outside, and then put the fresheners in. Just tips that, and it's so sad, but a realtor should tell you, and sometimes if you don't ask them, though, they won't tell you. So I'm like, you sure you want to know? And then if they say yeah, then I say, okay, get a pen and paper, take this and move this and paint this, and so we'll rip your house apart. And most of the time, it's very affordable to make these changes. So it's not like major renovations. Most of the time, realtors are going to tell you to do mainly just paint a wall, take some pictures down. So anyway, you guys hold tight. We're going to talk about the hurricane that just came through. I want to talk to you guys. I want to give you some Floridian tips. So stay tight, and we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. We were talking about the hurricane, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about the hurricane preparedness. Of course, the hurricane is gone, and we're in the aftermath part now. And I know it's really sad, and I think a lot of people, as far as we've seen a bunch of things, which I should have put the pictures up, but we've seen a bunch of people like put sandbags in their driveway, just like across their driveway, but not in their yard. We've seen a bunch of things where people were taking straps, and I don't know if they were just messing with their neighbors or what, but they were strapping like from their roof to the ground, and just some things that were that Floridians don't really do when we prepare for the storm. Of course, mentally, it's stressful. You know, a lot of people get so stressed, and it's, you know, it is tough to go through because you don't know where the storm's actually going to go, or, you know, how you're going to end up, stuff like that. So I have customers who are in flood zones, you know, family members in flood zones, and the AE flood zone was one of the first ones to evacuate. To have them get their homes prepared was, you know, so there's two different types of Floridians. Basically, there's the Floridians that are in the areas that say, it's never going to get me. And then there's the Floridians who want the ocean front and the waterfront, and they're like, well, it's worth it to live here. So you have those two types of Floridians. And actually then there's probably the third type, which is just not a Floridian, just someone who just moved here, and they're absolutely terrified of what's, you know, they see a huge hurricane in the Gulf, and then they see us, little Florida, as, you know, hurricane looks as big as the tip of Florida. So it is very stressful and stuff. So the first thing, I know that, you know, just as if any storm that, you know, they tell you to pull everything inside, you know, to hunker everything down, to put it in your garage or a shed, if you have any objects, stuff like that, that could be, could turn into, you know, stuff flying around. If you have trees that have like dead limbs and stuff like that, if there's enough time, you're going to want to trim some of those limbs off. If you have dead trees that are in your yard that are hanging over like your house, stuff like that, if you have, again, if it's, you know, if it's way out the storm, I would say to make sure you have those limbs cut off your house, make sure those dead trees aren't in your yard, only because most of the damage from the storms, if you're not right on the water, is going to be from wind, which is going to be your trees, the limbs, you know, coming off, and then that causing a problem, like whether it's hitting your pool cages or whether it's hitting, you know, just coming through and hitting like glass, you know, the windows, stuff like that, from like debris going through the air if you're not actually on the coast and stuff, you know, close to the water, basically. So that's the first thing, is basically clean up your yard, keep an eye on it, and don't freak out at first. And then what I usually do is I have the cell phone chargers, the ones that they're like a pack. You can actually take the pack, you can charge the packs. That way, if you're to lose power, you can actually charge your cell phone if the towers are still up and stuff, so you can still get cell phone access. So I start with that, just charging, making sure those packs are charged up. But remember, you can always sit in your car. If your car isn't damaged by water or flooding or anything, you can sit in your car and charge your phone too. So if you're not right on the coast where you're supposed to be evacuating, if you're supposed to be evacuating, then you want to prepare your house, make sure it's locked down, which I'll go over some tips that you might not know. I know a lot of it was on the news, but in 1993, I was involved in the storm surge. So that was when the water again was sucked out of the Gulf, and then it came back in the middle of the night and flooded houses. It was like 3 foot in the house that I lived in, and the house had just been redone. So it was really sad, but then it looked like just literally a black wave coming through the neighborhood. It was night, and I remember trying to adjust my eyes and thinking, is that water? And then, of course, it all came in. And a lot of times people will say, well, just put your stuff on top of the refrigerator, and that'll be safe. Well, unfortunately, refrigerators turn sideways when the floodwaters actually come in. So if you've actually been in a flood, sometimes the advice they give you as far as like putting it on top of a shelf in your, on the top of a shelf for a flood is not necessarily the correct advice, because the shelves will float in the water. So when you have a 3 or 4 foot of water in your house, you're going to have mattresses floating. You're going to have stuff going sideways in the house, turning. So you're going to, if you have pictures or family stuff like that, if there's or heirlooms or, your favorite stuff, you might want to put those into like a suitcase and put those at someone's house that's high and dry if you live in like a flood zone area. If it's flooded there before, if it flooded there in 93, or if it has the potential to have rising water, you want to take those things, whether it's a safety deposit box or a small storage area that you want to put your stuff that's high and dry. Now in those areas, if your house is built up and you're like, I'm not worried about it, my house is a 2-story, Again, you're going to want to think about those cars. I have a friend who has a lot of nice, she has a Lamborghini, so a lot of nice cars, like so nice. The cars are so nice. So those cars, the first thing she did was, where can I put them high and dry? I have the listings I just had, up, and I was like, well, we can put the empty ones. We could put a Lamborghini. It's a good selling point. You walk in, you see a Ferrari or a Lamborghini in somebody's garage, in Beacon Woods, but she'd already taken care of it. She pulled them all out. But that's so smart, because if you're in a coastal area, your first thing that's going to get flooded is your car. And I know a lot of people are thinking of it more as, how am I going to evacuate? If I wait too long, I need this car. But if the floodwaters are up, then you're going to need a boat. So speaking of boats, crazy story again. In 1993, there was a boat next to this house that was flooding, and we had got out and just made it out, and the water was rising up and up. And then we came back in, got the boat, and people don't know that that their house is going to flood and that their dogs are going to be swimming in their living room and stuff like that. They don't think of any of that, cats. And so we had gone back through and took kind of like Noah's Ark, but down major notch. We took this boat and thrown a bunch of, the neighbors' animals. You could hear them barking. They're floating on mattresses in their living rooms and stuff like that. We're climbing through windows, getting Cocker Spaniels out. And so that was in 93 though, not now. So now, the same area that was in, it didn't flood or anything with this hurricane, but we are in, central, like Tampa Bay area, Pasco, Hernando didn't flood, Pinellas didn't flood, and then it turned, of course, at the last second. So for flood, as far as the flooding and preparing your house, if your house is in a flood zone, I usually, it sounds crazy, is to prepare your house, you'll take your sandbags on the outside of the door, but what I want to tell you on the inside is to take duct tape and line it all the way around each door inside. If you live in like a high flooding area, duct tape will make a seal, and you can even put it on the outside of the door too if you want to put that before you put the sandbags on. So duct tape, of course, is good for everything. It sounds like I'm a redneck right now, but it is true. Duct tape does work to make a seal. Of course, if you have a major, like this one, hurricane, it was a 5 or 4 and 5, it's probably duct tape, it's probably not going to help. But if you have you're on the outskirts, you're still in the flood area, the water's still rising, depending on how far you put up your duct tape, it should make a seal on it, and you'll get water, but you're not going to get as much water as your neighbors and stuff. So you got duct tape. Now, the only thing is when you put your duct tape on, you're not going to be able to walk out at your front door and evacuate then, because now you just broke the seal of the duct tape on your front door. So this sounds crazy. You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but what you'll need to do is you're going to make an escape route, and you're going to go through your window. You're going to go step out your window, and then you're going to go back and seal it with your hurricane shutters or your duct tape, then again on the windows too. There's some cleanup with duct tape because it does peel off some of the paint, but you do get that seal, and it does help a lot. Of course, like I said, it doesn't help for catastrophic areas, but it will help for rising water. If you have a area where people are driving through and it just keeps splashing and coming up and splashing in your door, perfect solution for that. So you can, and it sounds crazy, but you'll have to go through the window because windows are higher, and so the chances of it going up to your window is probably going to be less than just the front door. So you're going to duct tape. That's an old Florida tip, is to duct tape everything you possibly can. So you got your duct tape down, you've got your cell phone things being charged, or you're just charging your own cell phone. Now, I always say if a hurricane comes through on a night or a tropical storm, to take your air conditioner and put it down to 70 or super, super cold. This tip is for, so you'll be able to sleep, and it sounds horrible, but so you'll be able to sleep the rest of the night when you lose power. So if you put your air conditioner, even in the 60s, and it's super cold that night, the storm's going on, you can hear it, and then you lose power, it's okay because you can't do anything anyway, and you still want to sleep, and it's going to be still cold in your house if you have your air conditioning down to like a iceberg type temperature. So being in Florida, you know how it can go up to 100 degrees pretty quick in our houses. Now, I had a lot of people call me and they said about draining their pools. That was another thing. The tip of the day on that one, they said, well, we want to drain our whole pool because the hurricane is going to come in our area. Now, these people were in Pasco County, so my first reaction was don't drain your whole pool. So a lot of times what happens is, especially with fiberglass pools, if you drain the whole fiberglass pool and then the water is, say, for instance, you're in a coastal area, the water line underneath of the house and just different factors will make that pool pop out of the ground, or your septic too. So you want to make sure that you are, and they call it popping. So you want to make sure that if you have a fiberglass pool, that if you want to let a little bit of the water out, that's fine. Don't go beyond half. I mean, I'm not a pool professional, so you might want to call one and ask, but they had called me in the middle of the night on the night of the hurricane, and I said, let a little water out because we're, estimated to get, between 4 to 12 inches, but don't drain the whole pool. And if it is even with your house, like in other words, if your pool starts to flood, it's going to flood your back of your house, then drain your pool, make it go to the side, put it down at about 6 to 8 inches. Don't drain the whole pool. Even if it's a cement pool, they can pop out of the ground, which sounds crazy, but that's what causes the pools to actually crack, and then you've got to fix them. And then the same thing, if they don't pop out of the ground, it'll cause it to bend out and stuff like that because of the water in the ground, and now your pool's empty and it does crazy stuff to it. So be careful if you're going to try to drain your pool. There was some catastrophic stuff with this actual storm of a gentleman draining his pool, and I think he passed away because he was right on the coast area, and I think he was outside as the waters were coming in and stuff. So it's obviously, if they say evacuate your area, please evacuate your area too. So the other tip is to fill your bathtubs with water. So if you only have one bathtub, you're probably going to be, you're going to want to take a shower, obviously, first. Make sure everybody's, showered. And then that night, you're going to want to fill that bathtub with water. It's just so you can take and you can flush toilets. The tip of the day again, if you take a bucket of water, like a pail of like Home Depot pail, you can fill it up, and then you can take it to your toilet and you can just dump it in your toilet, and you don't have to press the lever. You don't have to put it in the back of the tank and flush it. You can if you want, but the pressure of the bucket will make your toilet flush. So some people don't know that. Some people, guys right now are like, everybody knows that, but some people actually don't know that. And it's, I had posted on generators, if you have a generator and you start your generator up, don't start your generator in your garage or in your house. Make sure your generator is outside, because you can get carbon monoxide poisoning and actually die from your generator. So, and it sounds crazy, but I posted that, and about 1,500 people circulated it, and it because you think everybody knows what we know as Floridians or being here in Florida, and a lot of people that are new here don't know this. So, and like I said, you could tell because they put sandbags across their driveway, like the flood would just only go up their driveway to go to their house, not through the grass or anything like that. They didn't put the sandbags on their house; they just put it across the driveway, which I thought was hilarious. But then it's sad because no one's telling you. And of course, the news is trying to tell people, but the news is going off, and I feel like people are in the zone of just watching the hurricane and not hearing anything that's going on, with everything. So I always say to have flashlights ready, make sure they work, make sure the batteries are, just keep one around, just because you never know when the electric's going to go out anyway. But what I did was, at my house, I took candles, and I bought lighters, and I put candles around specific areas. That way, in the middle of the night, if the power was to go out and I wanted to check on, say, what was going on in the house, we would have candles kind of set up around everywhere. That way we could have like a little trail. So I had my candles, walked down my room, I had a candle there, walked into the kitchen, had a candle there, bathroom had a candle there. And of course, I didn't have them all on all night because we're not trying to burn the house down, but I had a lighter next to them just in case. And if, this hurricane went by in the middle of the night, so we weren't all like, maybe some of you guys were, but I went to bed. And like I said, I put put it down to like, 68 and went to bed and just prayed, But we were, again, not on the coastal, so we didn't have to evacuate. So, it's poor people that were right there in the coastal praying for all them still. And if you guys see the Red Cross, to round up or to donate, if we all donate, $1 or $2, every single one of us, even though, like, some people are donating millions to them, but say you can't afford to donate, you're not in a position, if you donate $1 or $2, and every Floridian does, I mean, that's millions of dollars there, just from you rounding up at the grocery store. You want to give back, so those people are really bad positions. But so we went over every tab. So on my list here, they're saying to fill every sink with water too, and then on the sinks, they say to cover it with saran wrap. But if you have kids, you don't want to make it like this thing where your kids are in the water, they're in the tub, they're in, everywhere. So you might want to just take buckets and fill up your buckets of water outside, so it doesn't turn into like the water zone. Your house turns into Adventure Island by accident. So you can add a teeny bit of bleach, like a drop to make sure it's sterile. But you want to make sure if you're going to be drinking that, obviously don't put the bleach in there. But so I found that trash cans, some of them will hold water, some of them won't hold water. Those Home Depot, like I said, Lowe's buckets, old paint buckets, those all hold water, and they're good for flushing the toilets too. If you have a pool, you can just literally take and dip from your pool to flush the toilets and stuff. So that is like a cool, like a key thing to utilize. We had a hurricane 2 years ago. We lost power for 4 days, and again, that was just having the buckets near the pool area, taking them, and you could clean up the toilets, but make sure that you have like bleach and stuff, like one bottle of bleach for 4 days worked out good. So it was kind of rough, but when that power came back on, it felt so great and everything was wonderful. But that wasn't this time, that was last time. But on this list too, when I was talking about candles, they're saying to you can get glow sticks. I never thought of that. You can hang one on each child so you know where they are if it's dark out. But so glow sticks, that's a good idea. And even, I don't know if your dogs would chew them, but if you could somehow put one on them too, so you can keep track of everybody, if it is the middle of the night and stuff. So everybody, stay tuned. I'm going to just take a quick break, and I have like 50 million more tips that you guys might not know of. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but I have more tips. Stay tuned. We'll talk about it in just a sec. Hey guys, welcome back. So we're talking about how to prepare for the hurricane. I know you guys got the 101 last week, but these are some things you might not know. Just being a Floridian, this is things that I automatically do. Is another one, go get propane. If you have a grill, you want to go get some propane. You might want to get an extra thing of propane if you think that you're in an area that's going to be no power. Propane's great for, you have your refrigerator now, you have no power, your food's all defrosting, so what are you going to do with it? You're going to throw it on the grill. I know a lot of people with they'll say to defrost all your stuff and cook it in advance and then freeze it, and that when it defrosts, it's already pre-cooked. But I like to, it sounds crazy, but I'd rather it defrost, the one day, and then the next day we're cooking all this, all this stuff that's in the freezer, it's getting ruined. And then we have 2 refrigerators, one's in the garage. So usually we'll have one refrigerator as the generator with the, with the extension cord. And so that refrigerator, we have all the good stuff in. And the other refrigerator, you can't fit it all together, or if you can, we'll take stuff out and start defrosting it and eating, in advance. And with that being said, we have cans of tuna, the packets of tuna, just snack stuff, so you can get your protein in, make sure everything is going good with the protein. I'm just kidding. So that you can still eat, stuff like that. A lot of it is common sense, but a lot of people, they panic and they buy apparently toilet paper and bananas. I've seen everybody buying bananas and toilet paper, and which is good. But the main thing is going to be, you're going to make sure that you have, usually I say peanut butter and jelly and bread, and that way, and then, like I said, tuna for like your main course, and it would be rough for a couple days, but we were joking that maybe we'll lose some weight because we'll just be there starving to death basically. But so on my a lot of the tips, they're saying to reserve fridge space for storing tap water and keep the sealed water, or the bottles of water. What we did was we had a big gallon of water, and a couple of them we put them in the freezer because there was a lot of space in the freezer. And then if the power goes out, now you don't need ice. You've got this big gallon of water. You can put it right into the other cooler if you need cooler and stuff like that, or put it into the top refrigerator to keep the other refrigerator from going off. So those gallons of water in the freezer is a great idea. Or the little water bottles, freeze them, and you can put them around places, So that part was pretty good too. So they have that. It's so funny because on these sheets that they give tips, I want to tell my daughter, wash all your dirty clothes and your bed sheets. Anything dirty, you may need items. You may be sweating a lot. So I need to say to my daughter, you need to wash all your room, and it says to keep everything clean. So yeah, I don't know about that. And then it says get rid of all expiring food and stuff like that. But anyway, so you got all your yard decor, you cleaned it all up. And it's so funny because it does say clean your environment. So you have clear, easy escape routes, which means that there's nothing on the floor, Lydia. So anyway, so scrub all your bathrooms. So maybe I should just cut this out and just like I'll just tape this to her bedroom. So, but anyway, so this is all smart stuff. So you want snacks, hand sanitizer. You want to make sure that you have some cash on hand just in case. I know we're all debit card crazy, but you want to make sure you have cash on hand. And like I told customers, have a bag. If you have a bunch of jewelry, stuff like that, have a backpack that your insurance papers are in. You put them in a Ziploc bag. You have a Ziploc bag for your phone. I even see newscasters having their phones. We have all this fancy stuff. Literally had his phone in a Ziploc. So if you Ziplocs are awesome for flooding. So if you're gonna take all your stuff, your pictures, you want a couple photo albums, put it in your backpack. Put it into plastic. Put your phone in plastic. Put your money in plastic. Put all that stuff just in case. Almost like you're pregnant and you're going to the hospital. You have this bag, you're just going to make sure all your documents are good. In that bag, make sure that you have your medications. If you are on any different medications, you're going to want to make sure. And I know during this emergency, they let people refill the pharmacy let them refill for 30 days, I believe. So you can actually do that too, which is a good idea. So you don't have, if you're on blood pressure medicine, your blood pressure is going to be a little high during events like this too. So you want to make sure that stuff's in, basically in your bag, right where it is. So they're saying baby wipes are good too, because if you don't have water and you're not taking showers and stuff like that. And then it's saying too not to flush them down the toilet, which I think we know that, but I thought this one was a good one. Run your dishwasher ahead of time, which we know that, right? But then it said that if you're too late and you have stuff, you can put it in your dishwasher. Of course, don't turn it on. Make sure it's in plastic. But you can put it in your dishwasher, and it will make a seal in your dishwasher, and then you can save stuff in there. Now me, if you guys know me, you know that I would hit the on button on my dishwasher and all my stuff would all be washed. But most people would put their stuff in there, put it into watertight containers, Ziploc, and then put it in your dishwasher. Dishwasher is like a little airtight, and then when you come back, stuff's all in the dishwasher. I don't know if looters have come into different areas, but I don't think they know to look in the dishwasher as well, so that's kind of a good idea too. So you want to check on your elderly neighbors and their pets. I know in 1993, there was the storm. The neighbor, the old houses in the 70s, they would open outward. I'm trying to think if they open inward now. Yeah, they would open outward. So if you have a flood and the water's coming in and you're trying to push outward, a lot of the elderly people in like Pasco County and Newport Richey got stuck in their houses because they didn't have the strength to push those doors out. Those glass doors, I forget what they call them, with the has glass all the way up the front. Well, anyway, so I remember saving some of those people and their dogs, and they were like, shut the door, the water's coming in. Well, the water's going to come in either way, unfortunately, but we had saved a dog, which was with an older lady, and drove out of there. But then, like I said, went back in with a boat to try to help all the animals and stuff that were left behind. Because I guess, you really don't think about your cat and your dog. You're thinking about your kids and your life, and you're thinking, well, my cat will be fine. But, you make sure you go back at least to check to make sure your cat, is good and your dogs are good and stuff. And now they're saying, just take them with you because, they're part of the family. If you can take them to a place, like if you can get a hotel and afford a hotel, take your cats, your dogs with you, Someone had called me and asked me if they should unplug their refrigerator because they were evacuating. And that's like a fine line too, because they'll say to unplug a lot of different electrical items and stuff like that, which your refrigerator, I feel like, now you don't want your house to get flooded, but now you're going to unplug your refrigerator, and if your power doesn't go out, your refrigerator's good when you come back, right? But when your power goes out and you come back and your refrigerator is sweating and it's defrosted, and now you flooded your house with your refrigerator by accident. So I'm not a big fan on unplugging the refrigerator. If your electric goes out in the area, it's like God unplugging your refrigerator, and it was meant to be, but I'm not a person that suggests people to unplug their refrigerator. But it's up to you. If you want to, you can, So again, I told you guys about a small suitcase, which I said backpack, so you can just throw it on your back if you're getting out of there. And then if you're on medication, if your dog's on medication, now we saw this too, gassing up. You want to gas up, but then you also, you want gas for your generator, but you don't need gas for like the next 10 days. You need gas, especially if you're still working during all this. I was still working, and I was trying to find a gas station, and I was like, oh no. Believe it or not, people still want to see houses, and there's a hurricane coming to Florida. But we're all crazy here. We're all a little crazy here. So, so I ended up at a gas station, and I just kept going and going and going. I'm like, I feel like I'm going to run out of gas looking for gas, but there's different apps. There's a couple different gas apps which will show you which gas stations have gas, which is ideal. If anybody wants to know what it is, I can look it up, but I want to say if you guys Google gas apps for availability, you can go and they'll tell you where the gas is actually at. So you want to make sure you have gas for your generator. I usually get paper plates and paper cups and stuff, so you don't have a big, here you are, no water, you can't wash anything, and now you got a big mess after. So that way you just have your garbage bags, just throw everything in the garbage, For insurance purposes, I tell people to take pictures or do a video through their house. The video, is going to be for basically, your insurance company to show them the before. So you want to go through a video of your whole house. And you want to go through on the outside and walk around your whole outside of your house. And if you can get any aerial shots of your roof, it's a good idea too. Of course, not everybody has a drone, but if you can take a good angle or step back and get pictures of the roof too, that's ideal for the insurance company. So if you do have major claims, you can actually say, hey, here's my before picture. So that's great. So this is stuff that I never thought of, but this is kind of good. Charge your old laptops, tablets, and old cell phones, because you can call 911 on them, and you can also charge things off them, and even make and get light from them, stuff. So I'm like, oh, it's true. So I never thought of that. So I think Floridians were like, do we have our water? Even some people who never drank water before. I drink water every day, but some of you guys don't drink water, and you were taking all the water, so bad. But everybody's got their water, and then freezing your water, making sure you got water in your bathtub. But then also, if you are in an area that is high tornado area, you may not necessarily want to fill the bathtub with water, because you're also, if you need to hunker down, you want to be able to get in the bathtub. So that's something that, I usually just say put the buckets, of water. That way you can still utilize different areas and stuff like that. And then this one, I also heard you should freeze a cup of water, place a coin on top after it's frozen. Keep this in your freezer to help you gauge the temperature if the power goes out. If the coin stays on top, the food is staying frozen. If the coin falls into water, the freezer is being defrosted. So that's kind of a good tip too. I don't know though, when you're freaking out, if you're thinking of putting a coin on top of water, but sometimes people have more time than literally money on this one. So that's one thing. So you want to put everything in plastic. And then again, they had that dishwasher thing, which I thought, oh my gosh, this one lady, totally off subject, but this one lady, I heard that, speaking of dishwashers, she cooked salmon in the dishwasher. So there's a whole, maybe Google what to do with dishwashers. There's a whole new world out there. She put salmon in the dishwasher after running it with no water, no soap, and put it into aluminum foil with milk, and it would cook and would bake the salmon in there. And believe it or not, I tasted it. It did taste good. And because I was like, there's no way I would ever taste that. Okay, let me taste it. It tastes good. But anyway, so dishwasher, you got all that. Pack for your pets. Make sure you gas up your car. I think we know all this stuff. And then get ready to grill and get ready to enjoy your family. So they say also to make a list of the things that you enjoy about your family and the things you love about your family prior to losing power. Not that you're a psychic and you're going to know that, about losing power, but you want to, even if you don't write it down, you want to be like, I love my kids because they, and my husband's so great because of this. Because when you're 5 days without power, it gets a little stressful. So, and then if you're a person who likes to walk and work out and then usually come back, take a shower, and then there's no water and there's no electric and there's no cooling down, it doesn't matter how much stress you try to release by you're getting your steps in, you still get a little, fired up. So as I'm saying that, remember all these people are going through this right now. Like in North Florida, we have relatives, which we were going to go down to help, and they weathered the storm. The outside of their house, all the landscaping, everything like that's totally ruined. Their screen room's ruined. So we were going to head down there. So we, thinking Floridians, were just like, okay, we'll get in the car. This is on Friday. We're going to get in the car and just drive down there. Well, we didn't think about when we drive down there. They're even more short on gas than we are, where we're north of them. So when we get down there, are we going to be able to get in there, get into a gas station because they're shorter than us? B, when we get down there, will we even be able to get into the neighborhood because our driver's license show, Tampa Bay area, it's not going to show, Cape Coral, Punta Gorda area. So are they just going to turn us away? So it's 2.5 hours from where we're located to go help my husband's aunt and uncle out. And they have no power. They have no water. They have just scarce cell phone service where you can call them. They can't call out. Their whole outside of their yard is just ruined. Their air conditioning doesn't work. It's just a mess. But if you're trying to help, make sure that you go with a group that is already authorized to go, because they're not going to just let you in because they're protecting people from like looters, stuff like that. So even if you have a good heart and you're like, well, we're going to go down there, make sure, if you're going to go to a hotel, make sure it's a hotel that has the air conditioning and the, stuff where you can charge your phone so people know where you are, stuff like that. Because you don't want to turn into a bad area where you're stuck down there and now you can't get any gas, you know what I mean? And you've made more of a problem for FEMA, for the Red Cross, everybody, So Again, it says to scrub everything down, wash all your dirty clothes. Like I said, I'm going to tell my daughter about that. Put your stuff in a suitcase. Check all your family members. And then there's, they have that where they mark themselves safe or whatever. It's a cool idea to have some type of agreement with your family to either, everybody checks in at a certain point or everybody emails at a certain point. Just something where everybody can mark themselves safe in the family, because I know, especially right now, some people, their family members are missing and they had no plan in place for that. So even though it sounds like you're kind of overreacting with stuff like that, it's good just to, hey, it's Thanksgiving's coming up. Everybody says, hey, if that ever happens again, here's my email address. I need everybody's email address. Let's do a mass email or mass text message. But sometimes remember that the cell phone towers go down and nobody remembers each other's phone numbers these days. So, I remember my old phone number, like the landline in Tarpon, when we used to live in Tarpon, and it was like, they would say, what's your best friend's number? Got it. What's your mom's number? And now I said, what's your mom's number? I don't know. It's in my phone. So if you lose your phone, you got to have a backup plan. You got to think prior to cell phones, just prior to, how do I remember someone's phone number so that they can tell everybody I'm okay? Some type of plan. So, or even if you have to write it down on a piece of paper, people's phone numbers, and put it into your little backpack that we talked about having, where your wallet's in there, maybe some of your jewelry. But remember, you have to keep track of everything too, because now you're vulnerable. You're walking around with all your worldly possessions in your backpack. So you want to make sure you have places to lock all that stuff up. But like I said, the first thing I did, charge that cell phone. Make sure everything's working good. Make sure everybody has a plan. Make sure your family members have a plan too. If you have the safe house, invite them there. If you don't have the safe house, put yourself on your family members or your friends and go to their house. Everybody stay safe and come up with a plan in advance. It's almost in a hurricane season now, but if you think about these things in advance, you won't be freaking out as much as if a hurricane does come. But God bless you guys, and everybody stay safe, and I will see you next week.